As the stroke crisis marches on, I continue to attempt to learn the game Naraka Bladepoint with limited success. Unfortunately, it seems like there aren't many avenues to attempt to learn this game. I don't know anyone who plays it other than Mucky, and Mucky's availability has been quite limited. So my strategy in the past month has been to treat Ranked and particularly Immortal War as a glorified customs room. I can't even play with Nebula anymore because he's also quit. So I get my daily dose of rage from Joe Sixpack and random people who for some reason have named themselves inscrutable Chinese characters rather than anything identifiable whatsoever. In fact, one of the only people left in the game, other than Hypernova, whose name is actually rememberable, is the very aptly named Endless Tears, in all lowercase, who has probably killed me at least 50 times just within the last 3 or 4 weeks alone. Pretty much every single fight with him goes exactly the same way. It's just a player I can't interact with, which is precisely why he's in at least half of my lobbies. And those that he isn't in, there's usually Hypernova. Every now and then, once in a blue moon, it looks like I might actually be able to kill someone, and then they just perform a quick time event and just kill me. It's really quite fantastic and extremely fun to play. Without any direction on how to improve, without any real goals in mind, without a path forward, all I really can try to do is disseminate the knowledge I've already discussed and attempt to integrate it. But remapping my muscle memory is not an easy thing. I tried Syra for a while, and suffice to say, I wasn't satisfied with her ult usage, so I just stuck to Tessa. Perhaps this is a mistake. Perhaps it's better to stick with something you're comfortable with. I didn't really contemplate these things. I threw my face into Immortal War and accepted it for what it was. A grind. There is also strange encounters like the ones with this Yoto. This Yoto is apparently not actually in EU, but still has EU-styled ping. I encountered him in customs a while ago, and it was just absolutely impossible to parry or deal with him. But I have pretty high success with him in actual games. Kind of strange. Then there's people like this, where you can just feel that they have some kind of ping advantage, and probably an FPS advantage as well. Plus, this hero's kind of bullshit. Most of my encounters with him kind of play out the same way. This one here, though, is just... I don't really know. Just simple FPS difference, I guess. I don't manage to get parries like that very often, but everyone else does. I don't care about ranking. I don't even bother looking at the leaderboards. What? I have 60 games, and everyone within like 200 rank has like 10? Whatever. I don't look at this to rank up. If I wanted to rank up, I would rat. Yes, just ratting gives you points. There's no skill involved. You don't even have to interact with the game at all. In fact, you can kill people in Immortal War and still fail to gain points, because it's all based on survival time, and most lobbies are going to be emptied out within about 5 minutes. Plus, you don't get any fucking loot. If you don't kill anyone, you don't get any money. And it's entirely snowball based, so why wouldn't you hot drop anyways? Well, this only applies if you actually remember to use the shop, and I get to use it so rarely, I often forget. I don't actually learn anything from any of the matches within Immortal War. I get to play against high-level players, and very, very rarely against lower-skilled players like that Yoto, but most of the time, it's just you respawn, die, respawn again, and die. In Maelstrom, this is particularly hilarious because you get even more respawns, so you can die even more often. Meanwhile, whoever gets the first kill snowballs like crazy because they get all the money to buy purple and gold items. Really, you're just punishing yourself unnecessarily by not fighting an Immortal War. you're basically going to be at a disadvantage the entire game, and even getting inventory upgrades is a crapshoot. Okay, I mean, I parried. So laggy! God damn it. In the second last major patch, they introduced an insane bug into the game. DirectX 11 will absolutely perform completely unplayably, stuttering constantly, no matter what's going on the screen. Just navigating around the map will cause it to just stall over and over and over and over again. As far as I can determine, it's probably some kind of shader cache issue. I've tried switching back and forth, clearing everything out, so on. It doesn't make a difference. So I have to play in DirectX 12, which most people consider inferior in performance. But I don't notice a difference, because this game is CPU bound anyways. I would say probably about 9 times out of 10, I attempt to clash someone out of a wave dash or a grapple attack. It doesn't work. It's one of the most unreliable things in the game. Almost every single time I attempt to do it, I will just get hit. And I can't tell if it's a ping issue, a collision issue, or if those attacks are just supposed to always have priority. I see people on streams and in the NBPL managing to do it, but I never get to, so I have to assume it's ping. I could likely get a lot more kills out of third partying. 3/4 of my kills in Immortal War are from third partying to begin with, but I'll be honest in saying I don't really try to third party that heavily. It doesn't really teach me that much to kill someone in a third party. I would rather just 1v1 if I can. The difference will be if someone is going to be a cunt, then I'm just gonna tunnel on them and annoy them anyways. Playing more and more and more, I begin to understand the major performance differences, and I'm beginning to be able to read them between what people do. Casper is absolutely onto something when he says one of the most important things is figuring out your opponent's pings. Most of the players I'm able to kill or otherwise bother a lot are people who are very clearly not on 600 plus FPS. That's because their animations are something I can actually move around. High FPS players, I basically never get a chance to do anything, because their animations are literally coming out nearly twice as fast. They may as well be hacking. I have continued to try to learn Carousel, but I have been unsuccessful. I can't perform it on my ping as far as I can tell. I've also tried to use the cannon in lieu of the other ranged weapons, seeing as I can't aim them, but the cannon's delay makes doing anything a lot more difficult. And a lot of the times when it seems like the cannon should hit them, nothing happens. So that's fantastic too. This is likely because of the range to origin bug that the game uses for a lot of things. If there isn't a line of sight to the origin of the AoE, it just doesn't apply, even if it's not actually physically being blocked by anything. And this apparently doesn't happen in Yang because you can hit people through the poles on Yang. So it's also inconsistently applied, which is neat. Somehow this C player appears to be less laggy than most of the people I run in the game. So he probably is using an overseas account in the US. The biggest benefit of using Immortal War to train is the queues are actually relatively quick. This is because there is usually only ever one lobby running, and because for some reason they reduced the player count to 12 from 16 as they downsize the game, well, those queues are actually relatively quick. There are people who only sign on for Immortal War, so you're always gonna get a spot, because there is only ever 12 people online at once. But the drawback of this is that you are almost always running into the exact same set of people, exchanging maybe 1 to 2 to 3 at a time, and if you can't fight those players, you're not really gonna learn anything from it. Every now and then you get a second lobby, but there's still going to be a lot of crossover. Yes, this guy is able to loot the Soul Bloom before I can even see it. Before I can even loot the body. What the fuck is that? So much in this game is just hopelessly fucked. Like legit, just fucked. And it's just so frustrating to encounter that over and over and over again. I effectively have found maybe 2 or 3 people that I can fight. One of them is that Yodo. One of them is Eternal God 7. And the other one is Cat-chan. This Killsteel Guild Veloxes guy is only a little bit better than me. Even with the assistance of the Viper, he is only barely able to kill me, and mostly because his hero is much more powerful than mine, and, on top of it, it doesn't auto-switch the weapon when I get parried. This happens every now and then, and it costs me heavily every time it does. Stupid technicalities is like at least a quarter of my deaths. This player is that Naninian guy that I've run into like at least 200 times ever since I first started running into him a couple seasons ago. I cannot imagine how it is I got so close to killing him the first time I ran into him, because it has never happened again. In all likelihood, because he had no idea I'm fucking terrible. These two players just want to fight each other and ignore me, because I'm fucking terrible, and I'm going to be a bit of a nuisance, but I won't accomplish anything by doing so. I would like to get at least one kill on this guy, but it's just not going to happen. Instead, I'm going to be stuck fighting the Hattie. You don't run into Hattie very often. I think it's possible to parry him, but, well, I'm not going to remember that. I've never ever even attempted to do so. I have, however, had some success parrying the Lee hero, but that one is basically a leap of faith. I get so close to killing both of these players. First off with the charm on the Justina, and then I even almost managed to kill the Hattie after he kills the Justina after this exchange. But I will be robbed each and every single time by being either slightly out of range or just slightly too slow. Like I mentioned in the last Contemplations video, I'm trying to integrate dashing into my memory. The problem is that dashing is still extremely ping dependent, and most people seem quite capable of catching me out of the dash. I've tried to do the repair dodge, but it just doesn't work very well. Most of the time I'm not gonna have enough stamina, and I can't keep track of the stamina either. It's just fucking hopeless to try. My muscle memory and my playstyle is ingrained in parrying, and I just can't parry. The more I try to deviate away from throwing blues and trying to parry people, the worse the matches become. In what would turn out to be one of the closest games I have for at least 80 matches, I'll be in a random ranked lobby, and I'll end up fighting a Justina twice in a row, but only after being trolled by the Syra a little bit. I end up trying to do parries on Syra's laser, but I don't know the timings for it, so it just feels kind of awkward. It's probably one of the reasons why most people don't do it. I'm pretty sure this Justina is technically way better than me, but she greatly underestimates me and starts throwing blues. It's great when it actually works, but unfortunately, it's not something I'm going to be able to repeat for very long. She's able to easily avoid my ult because she literally has instantaneous reflexes, but she kind of panics at this point and ends up throwing. In the second fight, it's going to be much closer though. She's now wary of the fact that I am a dumbass and is going to try to poke me down a little bit while we try to contest this. It's probably not worth sitting on the point, but at any point a third party could show up, so usually people don't commit to it in my experience. But there was only the two of us here, so I should have been more willing to commit. I've already said it's actually impossible for me to play against dual blades. The blue follow-ups, either the 1, 2, 3, or the blue from the vertical into the second blue, are completely unparryable. They're just too fast. Unless I have a parry buffered on the first blue hit, it will not go through no matter what. This is coupled with the fact that the hit collision, especially on the verticals, is just fucked. And it has like double the reach of the graphic. A lot of the weapons in Naraka are fucked, but this one's particularly bad. The fatal mistake I make in this fight though is not watching where she was after she ults away. The timing on the enchant in the blue was also cooked. Parrying is such a shit show because I can't just parry when I see someone attack. It's already been well established that even if the player is comparatively very low ping like Immortal, that is still too high ping for me to parry. The difference just becomes too much for this game's shitty netcode to handle. There's no input buffering for things like half charge, So a lot of the game just flat out doesn't work the way it does against bots or in training. And even then, those aren't really that consistent because my ping against the server is still very high. So I can't just look at the dual blade blue into blue and be like, I'm going to parry this. I have to make the decision that I'm going to try to parry the follow-up while being hit by the first blue. And that's just really not a good idea to do, because not many people are going to throw that right away. It just results in me getting hit constantly instead. A lot of the times when I try to dash out of it, I'll just get caught trying to dash out of it. It feels like a lose-lose situation no matter what I do. And only in the rare cases in quick match do I really feel like I'm in control of a matchup. And then when I go back into trying to parry a bot, now I'm parrying too early because now the timings are much more correct. It's just jarring constantly. The key to improvement at this point is being able to mentally pace yourself, being able to space out your thoughts, acknowledge the initial interactions and determine the ping and FPS differences, and then try to adapt from that point. Of course, that's so much easier said than done. A part of it is nerves, of course, but a part of it is also perhaps impatience. But there's another part too, and that's my brain just doesn't even stop to think, to contemplate, to try to space. And if I try to force myself to space out my thoughts, it actually just increases my frustration. It makes me play even worse. This is one of the reasons why muscle memory is so important. So the idea is to keep grinding games and interactions to try to hone the muscle memory. But that isn't working. Trying different strategies, trying different characters, trying different weapons, trying different patterns, trying different mind games, or at least attempting any kind of mind game, trying anything, it just doesn't have an impact. If you were to view the interaction experience as a line, and what you're trying to do is to disrupt the line and make it more of a saw blade, a curve, at least change the interactions to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Every single attempt to do so doesn't do anything. It's like pushing your finger into a sheet of thick ice. Nothing moves. Nothing changes. And that's what it feels like to be playing this game. No, you can't parry Zai's ult. Why am I trying to? It's so rare for me to have a successful fight, even against opponents that, objectively speaking, are probably a lot lower skilled than me, at least in terms of game knowledge, and maybe even in some cases, technical skill. But the actual performance is so bad, and everything always feels so incredibly inconsistent, I don't know what the recipe for success is. I know that you're supposed to parry the F off of Lee, but good luck remembering to do that when it happens in a split second, and half the time I don't even fucking remember what the classes of a person is while I'm actually playing them. So I try to make up for it in reflexes and execution. When it works, that's great. I'm able to kill both of these players and successfully 1v2, on top of actually successfully third-partying, even though the third-party aspect was a fucking mess. I'll die to the same Akos, even though he's not very good, immediately after. In my experience, if someone plays slow, either because their FPS is not that high, or if because they're trying to be paced, or if they're being defensive, I will do better. I have a better time dealing with people who are playing slow because my brain is addled, and it also helps me attune to the ping changes a lot more readily. But when someone is very, very spammy, like Nebula or Immortal, on top of their animation speeds being faster, there's too many technical things going on at once that I'm not exposed to universally in the game. That's why I was able to get kills on Nebula, is because eventually I started to adapt to the differences, or because early into fights, I was able to adapt to him and he hadn't warmed up yet. But once he understood the differences, I wasn't able to adapt, because he knew just sticking to aggression would be sufficient to force me to constantly play at a pace that I'm not accustomed to. When it comes to these games, most people just go hard aggro right away, but they also seem to innately know what I'm going to do all the time, even though I'm trying to do different things. It just doesn't matter. Perhaps it's because the game at its core-most level can be solved, and these players are simply of a certain mindset, or have played long enough that they have solved all those equations. That's more than likely the case for Hypernova, but can it really be the case for almost every single other player still in the game? If Hypernova is constantly farming these people, and if I'm able to get the occasional kill on them, can that truly be the case? And if so, how is it they reach that point, and what mindset allows them to execute it? I can analyze almost any fight in the game by any group of players and figure out the mindsets and the reasons why they did XYZ. But what is the abstraction layer that's preventing me from applying any of that knowledge in real time? Why can't I access that knowledge when actually interacting with the game? Here's one of those cases of someone exhibiting some kind of supernatural pre-science, literally able to predict every single thing I'm going to do and catch me every single time. Although if he was better, he would have been able to turn all these catches into actual combos. So he's not really that good yet, but he's certainly much better than I am. We're also going to see crystal clear as day the Tessa F interaction in this. My ult will give me the buff, he pops it, and he instantly gets priority. This is the number one reason why Tessa doesn't work that well in solos. I have no idea why it works like this. It's certainly some kind of oversight. This Zai is a UA Shan I ran into early into my time playing the game. Back then, I was able to get him low enough I was forced him to use his ult, and I didn't know how to fight UA Shan's ult, so it was pretty much always going to be an instant loss. But it didn't feel like our skill difference was that significant. However, it's quite clear that I haven't improved at all since that point, but he has. The third party here is pretty irrelevant. I don't think I was going to beat this guy no matter what happened here.
Let's see, I feel like being an asshole today.
Lucky has asked me, what is it I have the most difficulty with? But I don't even know how to answer this question, because I'm not really sure myself. Dual blades is a given, but I'm not really making much progress in dealing with it, even despite the many hours of customs we've put into this. A pattern I have noticed is that somehow, just about any given player who's currently playing the game can predict when I'm going to throw the blues. Even if I hold for a considerable amount of time, or try to cancel, when I do finally throw it, they're going to predict it. Most often the blue I get off initially will be the one that hits, but if I try to bait out parries, I'm going to get parried anyways. There must be a pattern here that's been ingrained into the players' minds, something they can foresee ahead of time. Perhaps they think because I am cancelling the blue, I will attempt to actually throw the blue on the second or third attempts. But there's a lot of cases where people can just spam parry, and it doesn't really matter how long I hold it, because the ping difference makes it impossible to intercept those parries. Yeah, get poked! Get poked! Yeah, I walked into it! What? My parry. Ah! There are some incidents in these recordings that just have me really scratching my head. First of all, there's this Justina that almost dies here, and this zipping is going to ignore her and go for me instead. So I get parried because you can just cast a skill and absorb staggers on some characters. I don't get to swap the weapon right away. I somehow open the emote menu. I try to parry Valdez. I don't know, dude. What was going on in this game? Reflecting on the videos and the recordings and discussions therein, I had a couple things I wanted to try. First of all, I wanted to try rebinding parry to the side mouse button. But this really didn't work. Trying to bend my thumb to use that button was extremely awkward, and the muscle memory wasn't there. Plus, I could feel the strain on my fingers. I thought, okay, I'll rebind it to somewhere else on the keyboard. Perhaps my index finger has to cross over to G. That is an amount of actuation time, not very much, and as we just saw, hitting the emote menu is something that happens every now and then. So why would I want to do that? I could rebind it to perhaps X. I could rebind the emote menu to parry. This was a mistake. This was a terrible mistake. I tried rebinding it to X and V, but it became very clear very quickly that the strain on my hand was substantially higher than using G. And that meant any advantage I was getting out of the actuation time was being defeated by fatigue. I did this for 2 bot games. My left hand was virtually unusable for days after the fact. It was dreadful. This game here is probably one of the more autistic of the experiences I had during my first roulette with Immortal War. It was odd. First, I have no idea how to play Dagger or Fan, and I have no idea how to play against them. Anytime I end up accidentally using Soul Break, because it is accidental every time I use it, it gets parried instantly by anyone who plays the game. But I can't parry it because I don't have the reflexes for it, and I forget it's a thing. Then we have mushrooms. If you put me near mushrooms, I am going to shoot them or stab them. It kills me sometimes. It also kills other players sometimes. Then we have this zipping, who just... I don't know. This is what an even fight looks like for me. This is as close as it gets in this game. This is what an equal skill battle looks like. It just is utterly deranged. They do exist. They really do exist. There are people out there that are just like me. You just, well, basically never find them. This is one of the only times. The fun doesn't last for very long, though. You're not really allowed to have fun in this game, so if you ever do get put into an even matchup, you're gonna get this immediately afterwards. Rubber banded, juggled endlessly, yeah. And it's Tarka, so if I ever actually did get him low, he would just ult. By the way, this player would come to kill me a lot, to the point that we would start exchanging emotes every single time we ran into each other. And here's another fight against Killsteel Veloxy again. Once again, I get extremely close to killing him, even though I'm not very good with the spear. He's definitely not that far beyond me, but unfortunately there's a level of technical competence that I'm probably still a couple years from meeting. There's also odd behavior like him not getting hit by that vertical. I get hit by things whenever I try to roll out of them, so why does he get special treatment? Oh, because ping! I bet that if you had eyes on his ping, it's probably 40, 50 or less. His FPS is probably not that much higher though. There's a reason why I'm able to get him low, but not the Tarka. Here is an incredibly rare reaction parry against an actual player. He fucked out of there in a hurry and I never got a chance to see him again. Instead, I'll have an extended fight against some other players that were definitely above my skill level, but not so far above my skill level I was not entirely able to interact with them. If someone just spams parry, I just can't blue them. It's something I have to recognize that I need to use crouch cancel to get out of the blue, because I'm just not gonna get anything. This fight here kind of turns into a 2v1, where the two of them are ping-ponging off of me constantly, and they're allowing each other just to reset. Any single time I try to deal with a katana by parrying, I will lose. I'm forced to disengage, and they finally start fighting each other instead. I come in and finish one of them off. The zipping is nowhere to be seen. I actually think that she ran into the zone because she can just live in there forever. But eventually she comes back for round 69. So the endless fight continues. She's not quite as able to catch me as some of the other players are, so I don't really think that she's that good, but I'm still not really able to finish her off, especially with the spear. One of the things with the katana is you need to be able to put distance from it when they start charging the blue. The only way really to do this is with a repair dodge, but as I said before, I forget to even attempt it. This situation is very familiar, and once again I'm going to be stuck fighting the Tumulch instead of the zipping, who is just permitted to go and heal. However, the Tumulch is not able to infinite me. I'm not really sure what he was doing, but it wasn't really working out that well. I have some experience playing against Tumulch, since Mucky has played him a little bit, and I've run into so many of them, like Misu, for example, back when he was still playing Tumulch in our matches anyways, so I kind of have some idea how to deal with him. But if Tumulch does get one hit on you with his ultimate, he can just infinite you and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. Both of the players go off into the zone, maybe for the second time, and I choose just to leave because, well, I can't heal anymore. The zipping will eventually come out of the zone. I believe that she did kill the Tumulch. I was hoping she'd be a lot lower given she had been in the zone for quite a while. But she wasn't. She's just gonna spam Katana Blues constantly and there's pretty much nothing I can do about it. The terrain kind of cucked me there, so I wasn't able to get some much needed damage from the pull sword on that enchant. This fight was already decided at this stage, so there's not much more I can do but just die. Just about every single time I tried to do the dodge into parry, that's all part of the whole spacing thing, I never get it. I'm just too slow, I guess. Something I will notice is that when I first run into a player who probably either doesn't recognize me or doesn't know me at all, they will have some apprehension at first, but after the first few trades, they will very, very quickly figure me out. I'm still not sure what part of me they're actually figuring out to suddenly be able to read every single thing I'm going to do from that point in every single game from there onward. This is very, very, very common. For example, Endless Tears definitely knows literally every single thing I'm going to do in every single fight that we have. Of the innumerable times I've run into him, he pretty much never lets me get a single hit on him. A pattern I've noticed is that most people will usually go for their early parry attempt. A lot of the times I won't throw that first blue because I always get hit by that early parry attempt if I do so. And then that's usually where things tend to go badly. A lot of very, very funny things happen in this game, like this particular exchange where someone else just appeared, then like two cats scurrying out of the outhouse, they're both fucking gone. Only for the one dude to die anyways. He has a moment and then decides to F. I'm not sure what that moment was, but the tism continues. Look, I finally got a kill. It was that guy again. And so the tism continues. Like hell am I not gonna turn down a fucking hot drop into a fucking salty chain. So it continues. This Justina, unfortunately, will not get to interact with me again. She has instead encountered Endless Tears. I don't even get that parry off. I don't even get the double parry off. It's a disaster. I decide to leave, but then suddenly, there's a Viper. Where the hell did this Viper come from? This game is already demented, and it's just getting worse. Oh, she ulted. It's okay. I can just use this tree. Yeah. It's good. All is good. It's all good. No, fuck you, Endless Tears. It's my kill. God damn it. And off he goes. So I'm gonna hide in this bush. I'm gonna heal. And I'm gonna calmly wait. Endless Tears calmly collects the Viper he worked very, very hard for. He's gonna come over and he's just gonna instantly know I'm inside the bush. So we already know how this is gonna end. This is definitely a player I'm never gonna be able to kill. I could fight this guy non-stop in customs for months and I'll probably never get a single kill on him. I have more confidence getting a chain of kills on Immortal than this guy. I mean, look at this shit. This is fucked. I'm on the ground and he's just able to lift me off the ground again. It's just like flying knives. Why hasn't this been patched out? Like I've been saying, it would not take me much effort to convince me that these people are hacking. The shit that happens in this game just has no fucking sanity checking whatsoever, so you can't even say that they're hacking. It's really hard to call it when nothing works properly to begin with.
No, he dodged the water spear.
What? What the yeah, what? How did... Only only after getting parry robbed for the nth time by telepathic attacks did I start to finally see kills within some of my games. Past the floating rocks, I run into an individual that I had run into customs with Lab and Co. So certainly somebody that he knew. This guy was also a lagger and got quite a few kills on me in the customs as a result. But in this case, he died. In the following game, I would encounter multiple individuals of interest in that I could actually fight them. Although initially this doesn't go very well, for some reason Lee lets me get a reset. The pole sword and the great sword are above and beyond my best weapons, just because I don't have to worry about combos. Unfortunately, most of the upper players know how to deal with them, so I'm not able to troll that much. The mid-range players often don't. Also, an extremely rare case of this parry actually working. Maybe it's because the dagger's collision is so massive and lasts so long. Following this, a series of autistic ceremonies are performed. And like I said, this game and damage, not caring unless you have line of sight to the root bone, just is silly. Once we enter Yang sometime later, the ceremony continues, and then the battle is waged. Normally, I do really badly against Viper, but having practiced against Mucky for quite a while now, I start to understand a little bit when Viper is going to activate her ult, which is generally not right away. So I decide to take this slow, which the Viper is willing to allow me to do. And I'm here to try to bait out her F and then her ult. This is one of the rare cases where being somewhat calculated actually happens. And it pays off. She ults and chases, but I'm able to get behind the second pillar. She blows her F early, perhaps thinking I was going to come around the corner, and even managed to incidentally time this combo to kill her through the enchant. That was just pure luck, by the way. Chasing a bounty of Overwatch cheese pizza, I eventually run into Eternal God 7, who only ever plays Wu Chen and the odd Lee. He's also kind of laggy, and he has killed me in the past because, well, he is Wu Chen. Suffice to say, he gets a lot of early damage in, and I'm not able to replicate the parry that I had before. He's able to get a parry off, but it kind of nullifies itself thanks to the enchant. He's using swap and not escape, which does open up a combo. It looks like this should be a pretty easy fight for him, but I'm able to get quite a bit of damage off the counterattack. He has a little bit of fumble with that grapple and doesn't cancel it. The ult comes out, but I used my F to cancel my movement in the air because I wasn't sure canceling the grapple was going to work. At this point, he gets kind of indecisive. He doesn't throw out a second ult, and he tries to heal, but unsuccessfully. I finally catch up to Overwatch Cheese Pizza, who's going to perform the tactical maneuver of attempting to go inside the chariot. However, since I am a chariot connoisseur myself, I know this secret strategy. Once his chariot soul is defeated, he gives up on life and dies. It's so sad. Then the spirit line begins. I encounter an extremely rare mirror match of a second Tessa who is also using dagger. What the fuck is this game? I happen to have a flamethrower. I believe I took off of Eternal God 7. I attempt to iframe that ult, but it is way too fast. I pick up the yellow armor, perhaps a little unnecessarily because I could have used it as a reset. She is going to disengage and attempt to escape, but the chase is on. I immediately get parry robbed. You see the red flash, but nothing happens. Golly! She again attempts to escape. I'm gonna walk into that again. This is getting a little dangerous now. I don't have revive anymore. I get parry robbed yet again. I pull the tome. It's not the best area for it though. She is able to escape all the damage, so I'm like, whatever, I'll take the reset. It kind of looks like she's gonna try to hide in the bush, but the tree actually blocks fire, oddly enough. The distant blue allows me to use the flamethrower to get some more damage. I'm just gonna play this a little safe because I'm bad at this game. She does manage to get rid of the thing there. I think I had tried to swap the weapon. Oh, that parry could be really bad, but it ended up consuming her thing. You notice, once again, it didn't swap the weapon when I got disarmed. Otherwise, I probably would have been fine. I figured I was gonna die as a result of this, but instead, she gets very, very greedy. I finally managed to swap the weapon and kill her. That was far too close for comfort, all because it failed to swap the weapon again. So this actually could be a game-ending fight right here. I'm coming up to a third party between one of the strongest players in the lobby and Mordain that I've killed several times elsewhere. Mordain is playing Yodo and is gonna die immediately to the fire. I'm gonna try to catch up to the Syrah who has nothing. However, I don't realize the dagger can't pass over the well. The little flat well space there doesn't do anything. If that had hit her, there's a good chance she actually would have died. And she also manages to avoid the ult at the same time. Now we're going to see my extremely weak chase. I'm very, very, very bad at chasing because, quite frankly, I don't get much practice trying to chase. How many times am I in a situation where I have an advantage on someone and have to chase them? I almost kill her, almost! And somehow the ult misses a second time. I hit that Viper from a parsector away to the side. The flamethrower also doesn't do anything to her. This is kind of cringe now, but at some point I'm gonna just end up giving up. The terrain blocks the extra fire. It might have actually applied the debuff, but she has advanced heal, so it's not really gonna work. She's just gonna end up running into Yang at some point here. And then I get hung up on the terrain and just decide, fuck it. I can't catch her. I just give up. If I had killed her, I might have been able to actually win this game. But I didn't, and it was pretty clear that she was the strongest player I'd run into so far. The shale inside of Yang is not going to be nearly as dangerous. I get off several counterattacks immediately. She is a little under-geared. And I also have the flamethrower, which, well, she kind of just doesn't really know how to deal with. So, there is some third partying here. I'm gonna chase around the what appears to be the shale and the Sarah, and I'm going to torch them. So I don't want to commit too hard here because there is another player that we haven't seen yet that is very obviously just waiting for a chance to jump in. I'm getting off some damage here. Just trying to get some damage. I don't really want to kill the shale too fast. I kind of want to kill the Syrah first because she's definitely the more dangerous of the two. I immediately get knocked out of my grapple by the third party, who basically just immediately disengages and gives Syrah the reset. At that point, I didn't want to fight because I thought the other player was going to engage, but then the Syrah comes for me. I think the other player is a zipping? I'm not really sure who the other player is, but at this point they don't fight. So I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna wait. I'm kind of confused. Nope, she then decides she wants to fight. So it's like, okay, I'll fight her. There's some emotes going on. And then we're getting shot at, so she runs away, and frankly, I don't really understand what's going on, but it's effectively a 2v1 at this point. So I go back on the Syrah, I managed to keep her off the ult. The ult triggers, but I'm very, very low from having fought two of them. So I don't really want to engage too hard because she probably has her ult. Not able to switch off the weapon fast enough below the F. I probably didn't need to try parry there because she couldn't do anything from behind the barricade, but very inconsistent. She manages to avoid that. She is able to escape the fucking grapple attack. Most of the time when I get hit by that, I can't move for like multiple seconds at a time. So she's gonna get a reset off the Morus. There's nothing I can do about that at all. I'm still very, very wary about this zipping who's just hopping around. I'm not sure why she's dropping the dagger in Pride's Fall. Oh, she might have gotten it. I don't really know where she got that from, but I'm not sure why she dropped it. I was kind of confused by that. So the fight against the Siri continues. I have no ult. She has ult. I'm gonna try to tickle her down, but apparently she has both jabbing and infinite velocity, so that's gonna be fantastic. That goes nowhere. I'm not really sure what she's doing. If she was like worried about the zipping or whatever, but at this point I've completely lost any concentration I had. I get an ult, I get a parry, but I have basically nothing. Every time the zipping goes near me, she ends up screwing up the soft locking, which I just assume was intentional. And I'm pretty sure that this was an intentional 2v1. Though it's arguable if I would have been able to do anything even without her interfering. So that was a pretty disappointing game, but not the worst I would endure. January 23rd, I gave up local recording for a while and ran what would be one of my last streams before the great shit show of our time truly took off. Alright. It's time. What's going on here? Oh, I see. This chair is awful. I'm literally sliding out of it sometimes. It's pretty much impossible to become comfortable. I'll probably be getting a phone call today. I'll have to... Holy shit! Well, 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 look who it is. Oh god. It's fucking Wu Chen. How'd that not hit him? Fuck did he go? Ah, there we go. I got him. There you are. Ah, I'm fucked. I've only been able to kill this guy a few times in custom. Although he may not have ult. Ah, no. Ah, fucked. How'd that not hit? God damn it. I'm so bad at this game. Alright, I got a weapon I can kind of use. Man, what the fuck? You and your frame rate. Parry robbed. What? Man, what the fuck was that? I should check the body and see if the pole sword is still there, because he doesn't use that weapon, as far as I know. Now, where the fuck did you go? I tried to clash that axe. Damn it. That was the wrong input. No point fighting him in the ult. I cannot parry that. You hear the parry go off. The ping is just too fucking high. Alright. How long do you think the queues are gonna be now? I've already waited 30 minutes. Oh shit, dude, we got a queue. Dude, if I click E there and there's a thing I don't have, it shouldn't like just fail, it should pick it up. I don't understand how that's such a hard concept for this game to understand. God, I hate this character so much. Just spam all the buttons and have infinite purple focus. And I get to do nothing. Oh, you also got blue armor. Oh, I'm cooked. Ow. What? Oh, that was him. I parry. Okay. Snowland killed the Yodo. Fuck Yodo. I parried. I did nothing. I parried. Oh, okay. Guess I'll die. So, I accomplished pretty much nothing in that game. Which is part of the course. Now we got to wait for the next one. Is that Puppy Pounder? It's Puppy Pounder. That is a good name. Gotta admit. There you go. Yeah, you need to kind of get wedged, and the root motion tries to reset. We had a regular lobby, and now the queues are dead again. Do people really still play Marvel games? That's crazy. Meanwhile, I see someone else trying to get in here. Oh shit! Oh shit! Well, it's Kylan. I like how you have gold armor again. Suffice to say, my experiences during streaming weren't any different than the last year of doing ranked, much less Immortal War. But that wouldn't be the only indignity I suffered during this stream in particular. Oh, there's no puzzle components here. Did they remove it from the map? Or is it because it spawned under the zone? Lawful underscore vibes. Ah. There's like nothing over here at all. Typical Maelstrom L. Isumi 1 P. I'm going to ignore the Maelstrom because it's stupid. Or the Nexus or whatever you fucking call it. Can I kill this guy? No, you can only kill them with the red weapons. Very exciting map design. Snowball so you can snowball while you snowball. Very cool, thank you. There's just nothing. The map is just fucking dead and empty. Nice big stretchy ass morass. Looking good. Looking real good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the good shit. That is the good shit. Yeah, that's very Blizzard. Jay Wilson approves. Yeah, yeah, looking real good. Saw some fucked faces there too. I mean, this whole thing is fucked. Nobody gave a shit. And there's just nothing. Like, it's just empty. I mean, yeah, some of the other maps have empty areas too, but they're usually like transitional areas. You really don't have a giant... Those tiling textures. You really don't have this gigantic area where you have a single pile. And that's it. The single pile next to a revive thing. Like, nobody thought this through at all. Period. Fuck it, let's go inside and get killed. I don't own anything. I parried, but... Bonk! Oh, I'm bad! Ah, he has fucking sap. It's Jover already. And he got me anyways. Wait, this armor is... What? This armor has nothing in it! God, I hate this fucking hero. This hero is so stupid! Once in a blue moon, I do encounter someone who is at my skill level, though. That's right, I fucked up your puzzle. What? What the fuck was that? Can I search for the Chinese name? Because that's... Oh. That was a very long queue is what that was. This is it. This is peak perfection. This is peak form. It doesn't get any better than this. What's kind of interesting about the different characters that I have tried is my stats between them are extremely similar. The damage done, the kill ratio, these stats are all effectively the same thing.
Excuse me?
So it seems like I can make many of the characters work basically the same as each other. There might be some nuances in the actual individual matchups, but for the most part, the problems with my play, the problems with my current ranking, and the problems with my statistics are unrelated to the actual characters and their skills. Most of it's going to be the same thing. I have the problems against the same character as I do regardless of what I am playing. I'm always going to die to Tarka. I'm always going to die to Volda. I'm always going to get cheesed by Lee. It doesn't really make a difference. It also just shows that, again, the issues are mostly in the neutrals and at some point the combos. But if I can't perform combos because either my ping is too high, FPS are too low, or my inputs are absolutely incredibly unreliable at the best of times, then what exactly do I do? I'm nothing I can do. Unless he fucks up his combo. No, that was two-step. That's a guy I've never killed. I don't like, this is what happened before too. Like his ping is just fucking nuts. What the fuck? Like, why? I don't understand. I get no clash. He gets priority in every single neutral? I don't understand that. That is precisely what happened the first time. You could easily convince me someone like that is using micro or hacking. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Why I can't even get a clash out of it. What? Once again, I just don't get priority. I don't understand. Like, if you clash, you can attack again or half charge through it and get another clash. I never get that, ever. It never fucking happens. Yeah, don't let me do anything. You're supposed to be able to tap dodge through that. But you can't. Everything until the last hit is a fucking true. And then the last hit just catches you through the roll anyways. I feel like Yodo is one of the most brain-dead characters in the game. Not as bad as the new one, but every single time I run into her, it's always just the same brain-dead shit. Say it with me, boys and girls. Transformers need to be deleted from the game. It would be so much healthier if they were just... all of them were just deleted. SBS, period, Jack X. The battle of the Jack-Offs. Whose jail crystal is most well charged? Excuse me. There it is again. He gets priority over me. That was a parry attempt. Yeah, get shot. Oh. It's her. I wish her shit was not blue because it makes me think I can parry it. And I can't. Oh. I think that was Kathy again. Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna have purple focus in the game, it should be for stuff like Shale's shield. To signify that this is a special ability, you can't parry this. Because when I see her go blue, I have maybe 1 or 2 frames to try to parry it. I have to parry it immediately. But it's the start of her shield that is blue. Because you can interrupt that with a blue. But it doesn't make any sense because you can't parry it, and blues you parry. Focus slide you parry, and everything else you parry. This you can't parry, but it's blue. So it's extremely confusing for me. The game is much too busy and inconsistently lit to really focus on the actual character animation half the time. The reason why we give them a blue Fresnel is because it's a read. But if that read means different things, it's not really a read anymore. Garbage. Oh shit! Thanks for the sword, dude. You gave me this. These are the consequences. My parry! Oh! Net Zero Energy Scheme faces fraud probe demands as homes left with 250,000 euros in catastrophic damages. The climate shit is always really funny to read about. Especially when you, like, get a nice real-world example of what a so-called climate-friendly heating actually costs. I parried. Dude, Final Fantasy Xvius? I forgot that was even a thing. I can't believe that game was a thing. I think this is gonna go poorly. He has gray armor, but... Oh, I thought that was holding, not releasing. Oh! Oh my god. So much damage! I'm sad that didn't hit, but if it did, he would have parried. There, see? I did not get fucked that time. I can intercept this shit when I'm not getting fucking ping checked. Because he was an Xbox player, so he's not gonna have 600 fucking FPS. See, that time, I tried to clash. Like, there's a clear difference between the two. What? That was cheeky. Yeah, see, there's such a massive difference between the Xbox player and that guy. The Xbox player, I could clash, I could intercept them, I could actually interact with them. That guy probably has like 30, 40 MS, 300, 400 FPS minimum. It's completely different. The game just completely falls apart at that point. He will always get priority, and he can do shit like that. There is just no interacting with it whatsoever. Oh, it's Misu! Hey, we're up against the J-Cup player! I mean, at least it's Immortal War and not normal ranked like when I last encountered him. Because being platinum and having a J-Cup player in your game is functional matchmaking. Someone immediately bought a fucking Bane. That's good. I like it. Oh, you made my game lag! Where'd I go? He blew us out! Don't do that! Calm down, man! Dude, I'm fucking bad. You put so much effort into it. Oh, because you're C, so you probably have no idea what you're doing. I mean, you have 7,000 score, and I almost killed you in absolute garbage. Look at that! See, that's how the game can work. I don't even care if I die. It's like, wow, look, I was able to fucking do something. Oh, that was one of them is immortal. No, that is immortal. That was immortal that I was fighting. Listen, I was able to intercept immortal. So I want you to think about that, because that's the lowest ping, highest FPS we're probably gonna run into in this game. Why do so many other people fuck up the neutrals in this? Like, it's so strange that I can actually interact with him. It's so weird. And then you have that Yodo where literally nothing in the fucking game works against her. Like I said, you can easily convince me that Yodo was hacking. I wouldn't even bat an eye at that. It would make perfect sense with the shit that we've seen today. Yeah, no, I imagine the source is a fucking mess. I mean, Unreal is a mess too, and it's got however many people looking at it. It's just, you can actually do shit with it. And that is actually crazy that an Enterprise doesn't have source access. Like, I just, like, what draws people to Unity? Why do they use it? Every single time I use it, every single time I look at it, anytime I read about it or hear about it, I have yet to hear anything positive about it at all, with the sole exception of having easier access to that rendering stuff you were talking about. But I don't know, man. That doesn't seem worth it to me. For the average Joe, there's 1,001 different solutions for Unreal that will look just as good to them. I mean, this is a player that is somewhere around my ping. Like, yeah, I don't know how to chase. He's gonna come back and he's probably just gonna kill me. But dude, I was able to interact with him in neutrals. I could clash him. This game is stupid. See, it's an insane difference when I can actually do something in this game. Almost all this game, I have never, like almost all day, I've never been able to interact with people like that until I run into the console players. Well, I mean, that Yodo was on a console, but I feel like something's really up with that. The shit that Yodo was doing was just fucking psychotic. It was precisely like I said when that was happening, that I run into Immortal and Hypernova, I don't have those problems. And I don't know if that's because his ping is like super high, but as a PlayStation player, he shouldn't have high FPS. But why is literally nothing of his something I can interact with? I just like, I was able to interact with the players, right? Like, you just don't get that in so much of this. I don't know what the differences are. I don't know why a PlayStation player is just capable of avoiding literally everything and always intercepting me. Oh my god, is he also a pull sword enjoyer? No, I think he's a weapon swapper is what he is. Oh! It's been recycled. Now he's got it. Get what? What? What the hell was that? Dude! He interacted with it! That is fucked! I have never seen something that busted! What the hell was that? Dude, this shit is cooked! Shit's fucked. Like, you can't tell if someone is cheating in this game because the normal behavior of it makes no fucking sense half the time. Well, that time was normal. That was normal. The first time was not normal. There was nothing normal about the first time. The second time, Mucky does that too. He had a time gap for that. The first time, there was not a fucking chance. I have never seen anyone interact with it nearly as fast as the first time. You have to get out of an animation to do that first. And then to go into immediately attack, like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't take long to interact with it. But there is a start and a stop to the animation. There is a period. And you do have to get out of an animation to do it. I mean, if you get hit by it, it doesn't give me priority on you or anything. Unlike 90% of the times that they hit me with an F buff up, they get priority out of it. Because that's a very, very well-designed mechanic. So they will always hit it. Always. Eat the stun. And then that stun lasts shorter than the stagger. And then you don't even have to worry about if you're going to get robbed out of the clash or not. You're just instantly hit anyways. Because you're stunned longer. This shit is just complete insanity. The first part of that game was great. The Justinas I was fighting weren't doing any of that shit. There were no problems at all. And the second we ran into that Justina, like, what the fuck? Given how prevalent micros are in China, it just wouldn't surprise me if like half the people are running that. And like, how do you even validate that when the core game is busted? Like, you can't. Since nothing is consistent, any extra degree of consistency is not gonna be really something you can make out that easily. Oh, it is. I mean, Justina can do a lot of TODs, but there is technically better. Oh, he has jabbing. Alright, this is over. You're really gonna ult me? Dude, I'm a Tessa that you just dodged my ult. Oh, the grapples are stupid because if you hold a grapple, I don't know how people do it, but they can hold. I don't know if they're holding blue or what. They just know to hold it. Then you won't get a grapple staggered and you'll get instantly counter grappled. And that just happens to me almost every single fucking time, but I'm always getting staggered by it. They just always seem to know when you're going to grapple them and you just never get the stagger in. And you'll just get counter grappled. And the stagger's duration is inconsistent because I will usually get hit with the attack that follows after the grapple, but when I use that, I almost never land a hit. And I've done like the speed glyph and everything. Yeah, see, I'm running the speed glyph on here. This is the one I'm running right here. And I'm running it. And I just don't get that kind of behavior. Because, yep, the delta timers. It speeds up your grapple. If you're shaving an average of 20-30% of your frames, and the animation only has like 30 frames, that's why you get those cases. Have you seen the infinite grapple stuns? Like when someone is on the ground and they just keep grappling and then they kill them doing that? That happens in the NBPL, even with the FPS cap. And you can kill someone doing that very easy. There's been many times where people are finished off doing that because it is a true combo, even at 240 or whatever they're at, just because of the ping, I guess. I don't know, but in this, it's really stupid because if they do have that big of a ping advantage, you just can't get out of it. So long as they have grapples, they can keep hitting you and knocking you down and doing impact damage. I tried to dodge that. I have been able to tap dodge her ult every now and then, but as I've discovered playing against Mucky, that is also extremely ping dependent. Yeah, NA doesn't really have anyone making documentation at all. It used to. There used to be a couple people that, not in this context, but they did some stuff, but not anymore. Because the people that know about this shit, they benefit from it. So why would they ever bring it to light? Why would they ever talk about it? It's okay. I'm good. I got this. Nah, I don't got this. Oh! I don't know who that guy is. I was talking to him in another chat. But that's a Smurf account, so I have no idea what his main is, but I killed him really easily the first time I ran into him. And then I think he realized I'm garbage. And every other counter's kind of gone like that. That shroom did so much damage to him, though. I thought it was just going to kill him straight up. I'm holding for blue! Like, I got points for literally doing nothing. I did nothing in that match. And it did not give me any negative. Solely because I didn't die immediately. So Lab, this guy here, that's the guy I was talking about before. He lives in Ontario. He's on wireless. Before, I can't remember what processor he was on before. I think it might have been weaker than mine, or maybe slightly or around it. Like it's the same socket, but it wasn't a 5950X, so it was weaker. He upgraded to, I don't know what the X3D is in this range, but it's not like, I don't think it's a 5900 3D or whatever, but it's close. And I forget what he changed his RAM to. And he went from an average of like 60, yeah, I think that might have been it. It was an average of like 65-ish, 70, I don't know, something ping. He went all the way down to 3940 tops on wireless. His connection's still very spotty, but the actual ping and like the whole game completely changed for him. Like in customs that I played against him, I was able to consistently kill him, even though his experience is a lot higher than mine. And then he changed the system, and the X3D just like fucking changed everything. Because now he can do like those grapple combos and shit. I'm sure the ping indicator is completely fucking wrong, but the FPS definitely made a huge difference. No, that actual MS shouldn't make a difference. I mean, like, I played League on 60. They updated their servers, aka moved them to the East Coast because fuck everyone else. And then I went to 90. And frankly, I didn't tell much of a difference at all. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not doing it very well. I heard my parry go off. That was goofy. The echoes kind of fucked me up though. And then he helped me. Alright, fuck him. He just picked up purple armor. Alright, I mean, I pushed F like twice during that. Oh. I tried to parry, but... Oh shit. Is that endless tears again? He's not using the same... Oh, I parry that. What? Somebody explain this bullshit. Oh, it's him again. There's another ballista. I'm good. No, I can't parry shit. Didn't have inventory for that. I knew I shouldn't have thrown that, but I did. I think that one might have been winnable if I didn't throw that blue. Oh, lag. That should never happen, by the way. And I know precisely why it happens, too. It's because when you enter your Yang, it unloads everything. For very likely automated reasons. And then you leave Yang, and it reloads everything. Kind of like how, for example... Oh, I can't do it when I'm dead. Oh, there we go. Pop in. Pop in. That shouldn't exist. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be blue. It never is. I'm bad. I don't know why I didn't even try to parry that. I do not know how to fight dagger at all. I parried. Yeah, I get sassed. I forgot to switch the weapon. No armor anywhere. Eat this. What? Where'd my ult go? What? I don't know why it canceled. Dude, if the ult starts, why would it stop? I don't fucking understand. That would have hit him for sure. He wasn't going to evade it in midair. That was a white into a blue. I can't. The ping difference is too high. Kind of part of the part of the problem with doing the customs is it doesn't really give you any experience dealing with the Jades. So the exceedingly rare time I run into jabbing or infinite velocity, I have no real way to know how to play against them. But they're very annoying for the reason that even if you have experience, they're still almost impossible to parry. Man, I would sure love to be able to move in this video game. Take it. Oh, the lag! Dude, I was gonna avoid that. Oh. Oh, a little silly. Oh, I should have parried there. I would have gotten it for sure. If I had parried, I would have killed him. But I didn't even think of that, because ending up behind them like that is very irregular. Oh, I got one. He got all the blue shit. I got nothing out of it. Nice parry. What? That isn't even the same person! No, it's immortal. Fuck this goddamn planet. Nope. Not gonna need to worry about Jays. I transform more out of fear of the ballista instantly killing me because I don't even have blue armor. And that is why I'm not going over there, because fuck that. I parried. That was nowhere near me! That was nowhere near me! That was over there somewhere! No wonder why the first parry didn't go through. God, I hate this character so much. Oh, it was Misu. So we had what was probably the Ninja. We had Immortal. And then we had the J-Cup player too. I mean, considering I'm fighting against what is basically the top players in the entire server, I would say I did all right. I mean, don't say I did good, but I was able to survive against him for a little while. I don't know. Did I do better with Syrah than I did with Tessa? I mean, my damage averaged higher, didn't it? I did more damage, but I don't know if that means better because I really wasn't killing anyone. Whereas with Tessa, I sometimes got kills. With Justina, I got a couple kills. I easily killed Kachan, very easily. And then there was, I think, some console players I killed. But that didn't... It was too hard to fight the laggy-ass Yodos and that other Yodo. But I don't know if that's really like an issue with the character. I had issues with them on every single character. Yodo is just utterly brain dead. I don't feel like I have not enough experience using the camera and chasing shit. I don't have enough experience using the balls because when I most played her is when her fucking abilities work completely different. Watching Hypernova is not really a good way to know how to play this character because he almost never needs to use his ult at all, to be simple. And pretty much all these players in here he kills without effort. Except, well, I mean, I've seen him kill Immortal without effort too, so that kind of counts. If he gets killed, it's just something really weird happening or a third party. It's not a good basis. I don't know, it's hard to tell what character would work best. I still have a positive score. That is unbelievable. I will never get close to winning a game. That's kind of a given. I mean, with the opponents I have, I would really have to stroke luck with third partying to actually win a game. My KD actually went up for ranked mode. In Immortal War, it went down. It used to be like, I thought it was 0.6 or something yesterday. I didn't get hardly any kills today at all. These lobbies were all so much. I just kept running into the fucking Yodos over and over and over again. Well, yesterday I ran into Endless Tears over and over and over again. His name was very fitting, but in this it was just Yodos constantly. And then I died to that Feria once, which was particularly embarrassing. It was Yodos. It was the Tumult I was trying to kill because he was the only player that I felt that was anywhere near me. I had a few good fights, but I never managed to turn them into kills. Except for like one or two. I think I killed one Justine in the beginning of one of the matches. And I had a Yang fight. Yeah, I killed a Valda and Yang. Just barely. Because wasn't that the one that messed up his TOD or something? I died to Mordain once, which was embarrassing. I mean, I actually think he's a pretty strong player, but that was my first death to him ever. I've killed him a few times. But overall, it was definitely worse. The lobbies were just much... I think basically what happens is... Because I think... Wasn't it yesterday was the first day of Immortal War? Or maybe the second or third? No, it was the first. My matches are right up there. I don't see... Actually, this guy is high up there. I mean, this is a guy that, again, if you told me he was hacking, I would believe you. Absolutely. There was some really weird shit going on there. Who was that? Consoles have their own leaderboard, don't they? We don't get to see. Because that guy would have been very high. Or at least he killed me all the time. So many, like, all these people higher than me didn't play much. They played a couple games yesterday, and then that was it. They're not going to touch it again. The only thing I don't like about this is you can't change the camera, I don't think. And as you're going to see, when you have a locked camera to theirs, it's kind of jittery, especially because this guy's frame rate's going to be very high. So it can be a little nauseating for me. It may not be an issue for someone else, but for me, it's definitely kind of bad. And you're just gonna see all kinds of jank shit. It's not gonna be 1-to-1, but it's gonna be pretty close. But of course, his frame rate is giga high. So the way like he thrashes around his camera is not gonna be as bad for him. Oh my god. These dodges! Like, yeah, he's probably gonna die here, but seriously, those dodges were crazy. Oh, he had Volpine Essence. This goes into another. Why mad? Why mad? That's a name. Oh, they're the last players in this match. This was not the one I was in. He may have gotten into one if he was in mine and died or something. Why mad? All caps. This is really good. I like it. Honestly, I think he's pretty fucked though, because this Viper is obviously good. But there's a substantial gear there. Oh, he does have the altar. Oh, he wasn't able to activate it though. If he was able to activate the altar, he might have been actually quite well off. This resets! Like... Oh, the purple armor has nothing in it. If he grabbed the gray armor and then didn't get parried, maybe. Keep in mind, this is a guy that's like, he was number 2 for a while. Like, I think 2 seasons or more. And that Viper was re-standing him every single time he was on the ground. He almost never got a chance to do anything. That is ridiculous. Dude, it's Nightcat. Lily Nightcat. Oh, dude's getting punked. Oh! The Nightcat got squished. Fuck him up, fuck him up, fuck him up. Ah, you got fucked up. Oh, you got this. You got this. You got this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoa, boo. Hi, wan, EU. Never mind. They're gonna salty. I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this. They're gonna. They got this. They got. Oh, they're getting fucked. They're getting fucked. Okay. Yeah, there. Got it. You gotta kill this guy before he transforms. Never mind. He didn't call the one. Oh no, it's Jover. It's Jover. They're cooked. This. Oh no, he had my luck. He wasn't able to wave dash. He's fucked. Oh no, he's ulted. Okay. All right. He's got a few seconds to him. He ain't kill anyone, but it depends if they can chase him or not. They're not even chasing. Dude, Zai can actually kill you when you're in this if you don't cannon for him, because if you come into it very low, the burn will kill you. It'll do health damage. So she could have chased and might have been able to put up some they're literally letting... What the fuck? They're letting him get away. He's just standing there. Oh, he's gonna try to revive. Alright, I'm gonna put on my pizza. This is high octane action. You're gonna have some fun watching these games. Bro's gonna revive his Nightcat. I was oh, he's got some armor. What I was doing is I took out the little pizza and it had like no cheese on it at all. Like it was just bare. So I had to put some cheese on it. And then I was like, I'll put some onion on it. And then I just started eating the onion instead. And I was hungry. So I ate some onion and then some cheese. Alright. Looks like we're back in the game though. We're back in the game. The kill leader is the people that murdered them in the beginning. I think they can win. Zaya has 4 kills, but she's from EU, so just bully her. Neither of them were parrying the 1, 2, 3s. And if someone doesn't parry the 1, 2, 3... Oh, Two-Step was in this game. Well, he's fucking dead. Long Assassin C. They've got a couple server hoppers in here. I don't know how I feel about the Tessa Furia combo, though. I don't think that's a really strong combo. Furia likes to delay and peel and be annoying. Tessa likes burst damage. I see that they have also enjoyed the cat emotes. Oh yes! Take it! Take it! This is... Oh my god. Dude, the camera. Holy shit. Alright, we're in business. This is gonna be good. Oh, the jiggling and the jiving. Oh, but it's drifting to the side. This is amazing. I told you that there had to be a cat in here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wait, she's V2? That's why they didn't get anything out of it in the fight in the beginning of the game. They would have killed those guys if they had V1. That's their problem here. V2 is worthless on Tessa. They're just gonna ignore it. Yeah, this is why this comp doesn't work, by the way. Ooh, got him! Got him! Got him! Yeah. Fuck. Oh. What? Did she parry again? What was that? Oh, this Lee is not very good. Oh. Dude, there is some latency happening. He got parried between the parries. Oh, he didn't want to go for it. He's going for that blue, though. That's more risky. Dude, that Viper has done nothing but spam parry the whole game. Oh, she got... You heard it go off. We get to experience some parry robbing while spectating. Holy shit. I'm not sure maybe like once or twice I've ever heard an opposing parry go off and not go through. That's something that happens to me. Shadow Canine Wolf EU. There's a lot of server hoppers in this game. Ooh, yeah. Oh, he's cooked. It was a good run, though. That Viper parried like 30, 40 times before the end. Gotta leave that in there for another minute. Oh, no! Nightcat is dead again. You got this, buddy. Yeah! Yeah, beat her face. She's been naughty. Ah, yes. Yes! Nightcat is a reviver. Run it down, run it down. The Viper alt, oh god, she's running V1. The annoyance simulator. Oh, there's just people running around fucking everywhere. The second her alt ends, she's gonna be cooked. Dude, the cat is violent. Oh shit, it's a shell. Oh, it cooked. 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 This is spamming. This is glorious. Oh, are you gonna salty? He's going. I think he's going for the revive. This is amazing. This is incredible. I think Nightcat goes back in. She never healed, anyways. Oh! Oh! The Zai just tried to parry a counterattack. Oh, they're getting third-partied. Dude, literally saved by the bell. Oh, crazy. Is that a gopher? Oh, the other team's fucked. It's time for Operation Revive again, huh? Can you get in there? Oh! Oh! Dude is a secret agent on the prowl. Nobody is any of the white. Oh shit! Oh, this guy's gonna fuck him up. That Tarka has played the game before, unlike his partner. Absolutely cooked. Dude, weapon swapped and everything for that. It was a tragedy. Jugo de Naranja. Yeah, that's a very reliable way of doing it. The way I was doing it before was completely wrong. You don't attack up there, you decollide and then attack. Sadly, it seems like Ninja didn't want people watching his epic gameplay, so he hastily removed spectating support. Kinda like just about everybody else that plays the game, for some reason. Huh. I was kind of hoping everybody wouldn't remove that, because Evidently, my first party recordings are going to be at an end with this production. And I was hoping to try casting this game, but there's nothing to cast. So that's kind of going to be it. I have decided to quit. There really isn't much point in me continuing to play anymore. But this isn't quite the end of the story yet. There's still one final arc to discuss, and that would be my experiences with Zenda in the days leading to her release. Let's be clear. Competitive gaming is frustrating. You're going to lose, and you're going to lose a lot. People like Hypernova got to their place by being there at the very beginning. And people like Immortal have been able to ride on the success of their hardware and their internet due to geographic lottery. Every now and then, you might come across someone who tries to claim that ping or FPS doesn't make that big of a difference. And these are players who play on very high FPS and very low ping. They can scale back because they've already been able to get experience by riding off of the success of those advantages. Working in the opposite direction is not possible. Even so, they didn't start winning a lot. I was there around the time when Immortal started climbing ranked. He was in many of my games, and I spectated many of those games when I died, to try to learn how to play the game. That's my predominant strategy when trying to get into a game. In League of Legends, I did a lot of bot matches to learn skill shots. I didn't use the smart casting indicators or anything like that. I used the straight smart casting with 0 indicators and 0 latency. I got around this by learning the distances, the travel speeds, and the collision by heart. I memorized everything through muscle memory. You can't do this in Naraka when you have a high ping, for reasons I have already discussed. But, for example, you can parry them in ways that the developers very likely intended. Even though my ping is very high, the total ping is just that. But against a player like even Mucky, who only has around 50 ping, it's impossible to parry many of the things within the game. Several of the 1-2-3s, or several follow-ups like the dual blade vertical blue into follow-up blue, you can't parry those. And it's even worse if your ping is volatile like mine is, because what timings might work don't always work. And because other players vary heavily in ping from as low as Immortal to as high as mine, well, there is absolutely no consistency. I began using dodging and dashing in the place of parrying, but this doesn't really change the equation. You're still relying on a frame window to do something for you, and you have to plan ahead enormously to compensate for the ping. But this doesn't happen when somebody is being aggro on you, because their frame windows are far ahead of where the animations are. You basically have to predict everything they're going to do in advance and hope that nothing jumbles that up. For example, if they attack in a slightly different order, because once you get caught, you will never get your turn back. You'll just get lifted in the air off the ground, as previously shown. Things that just shouldn't be possible in the game mechanics happen, and you don't even know why. So you can't train in this game like you did within something like Heroes of the Storm or League of Legends, because there is no consistency whatsoever. You're constantly having to remap your muscle memory for every given player. But if your ping is already high, that's just not possible. And if you're also having to contend with the fact that roughly 20-30% of the players animate substantially faster than you do, and resolve things much faster than you do, that's just an extra layer of pseudo RNG you have to deal with. There's just a subset of players you cannot interact with at all, because their advantage is so massive, the only possible way you can gain any kind of hit on them is through dumb luck. Or perhaps if they're drunk. When you learn the game by having that floor level as your advantage, scaling backwards is much more easily, because you're already just pacing yourself back to people who already have that disadvantage, as opposed to trying to climb the ladder to compensate for the advantages. Watching a mortal play with a lower frame rate was quite eye-opening. He struggled immensely with many of the combos and techs that he performs, and this was a bit of a shit show. He mentioned how awful it was to play, and how unresponsive the game became. The FPS challenge that he played under was still much higher than my average. I have an immensely powerful system that can play virtually any game on the market on maximum settings, with crystal clear image and extremely high frame rates. I haven't had ping issues with games other than World of Warcraft after they optimized it with their random 500 ms spikes, or Halo PC with its netcode that Naraka would make blush. Only Naraka has problems, because Naraka is a Unity game developed by an incredibly incompetent Chinese company who couldn't give less of a shit how it performs outside of China. And how it performs in China, well, there's been an increasingly large number of Douyin videos showing cheaters for a very long time. 24's entertainment lack of respect for the player base verges on malice at the best of times, but it is outright malice when you consider the fact that fixing things like delta timers, a lot of the culling issues, and a lot of the performance problems with this product would be easily done within a week or two by using Unity's existing profiling tools to determine the cause of the issues. All it takes is somebody who's actually worked with Unity before, and one would presume that they have the license to have access to the source code. But you never know, they might not. Rather than accept that they are ill-prepared or ill-equipped to deal with the issues that Naraka has and improve the experience for everyone, Chinese player base included, they have decided to just ignore the problems outright. Fantastic. 24 Entertainment may be Chinese, but they have adopted the worldwide leading business practices of developers like Riot and Blizzard. In their heart, they always belonged along our sides. They are one of us. The net result is that it is an increasingly massive time sink to try to learn how to play this game at a disadvantage that is so massive that no matter what I learn from this point, I will never reach the stage where the game is actually truly enjoyable to play. I will never be able to penetrate the game for the simple fact is that I just was living in the wrong location, or I just happened to spend $500, $600 on the wrong processor. Rather than try to make their free-to-play competitive game accessible to a large number of people by having it perform in a sane, intelligent manner, 24 Entertainment has chosen to bury their head in the sand and do absolutely nothing at all. There is no reason for me to continue to sink time into this. It's not enjoyable. I don't have an active team anymore. And they even removed Spiritwell for the time being. I have nothing left to do other than to bang my head against Immortal War and ranked solos, accomplishing absolutely nothing of any value other than killing the occasional console player and sometimes cheesing the non-console player by sheer brazen stupidity and possibly ping-checking them. It's just not enjoyable, because only in a tiniest handful fraction of fights can I actually interact with the players. Why bother? All of the people who are willing to do customs with me, even just once in a month, have long quit. There is nowhere for me to continue to gain experience. There is no way for me to gain coaching. I am completely on my own, and at the same time, I don't feel like the contributions of any number of other players can bridge the gap between 70 to 80 ms and the rest of the player base, much less the frame rate. And given the cost of hardware in my real-life situation, it's highly unlikely I'm going to see another major hardware upgrade for another 10 years. Naraka will be long forgotten by all of its player base by then. And that's assuming I even live long enough to have money for a hardware upgrade. Given my financial situation and my health, I'll be lucky to make it through a year. But it's not really luck, because I am fucking dead broke, and it's only going to get worse. If you're willing to deal with the frustration, the next step to learning something is to find a strategy. I outlined the strategy I've employed for countless games to this point. It's the selfsame strategy that players like Immortal and Hypernova have told me is the key to their success: building muscle memory. But that is obviously not possible with the current performance of the game, since nothing is consistent and half of the functions just don't work at all, and things like half charging through soft combos are also inaccessible to me. I can't build any muscle memory, because things that should work maybe work like 5 to 10% of the time at best, and most of the things that you normally use to deal with certain features of the game just don't work. This is in the backdrop of the increasingly player-hostile heroes that they keep adding to the game, like Lee, and their buffs to heroes like Yoto, also elevating them to the status of completely uninteractable. And then they just leave these heroes in a completely busted-as-fuck state for reasons. Rather than try to balance the heroes, they opt into a point buy system for their tournaments. They opt out of the equation because it's too difficult. Rather, they're too lazy to just do what needs to be done, which is make the heroes fucking sensible. No, they buffed Tien high. They didn't nerf him. There aren't enough Transformers and trios, we need more of them. Absolutely fucking insane. So, if none of your strategies to try to learn things are working, and you go through hundreds into thousands of games, seeing no progress whatsoever, you start to become just a little bit frustrated. All the time I've put into games like Brood War, StarCraft 2, Halo, whatever, the more time I put into them, the better I got. With Naraka, it feels like an inverse. I had some success against players back when I started, but those players have almost all quit, and those that didn't suddenly became gods overnight. And I don't understand how or why in most cases. In some cases, it's because they upgraded their hardware. In other cases, who knows? Maybe they're just more intelligent than I am. I'm willing to accept this if only I didn't have an existing basis to go off of to know this isn't quite so simple of an equation. I can get nearly any rank I want. I could finish every single season in Azura, Unrivaled Azura, no problem. I know how to. Just rat. I can keep ranking up in Immortal War. I climbed up into the hundreds just by not auto-reviving. I didn't kill people any better than I did in most of these recordings. It didn't actually make any difference at all, because it doesn't make a difference. If you can't kill these players at the beginning of the game with even gear and no ults, you're not going to kill them late game when they've got all the jades they want plus ults. That's not going to make a difference. But like I said, rank doesn't make a difference either. Rank doesn't fucking mean anything. I don't give a shit about rank. It doesn't matter. I'm here for the experience of trying to play the game. And I can't fucking play it. 9 times out of 10, it just says, no, you can't do that. You don't get to interact. You don't get to play. Where's the fun in that? There is none. And that's more frustrating than anything else. You're not fighting against the players 9 times out of 10. You're fighting against the system and the performance. Either the incredibly awkward controls, the fucked up locomotion, the horrendous collision handling, and so on, or the FPS issues and the ping. And most of these, again, most of these, are incredibly easy to fix. If the developer just gave the slightest single shred of a fuck. But they don't. And that's what really gnaws at the patience. It's not just, oh, I'm shit and I'm dumb, so I'm going to take a lot longer to learn how to play a game than everybody else. No, I understand that. Oh, the heroes are badly balanced and some of the weapons are really stupid. No, I've made peace with that too. No, what really gets me is the fact that nothing I try to do makes a real damn of a difference. Because the game just won't let me do what I want to do. Anytime it feels like I'm here to make the right decision, no, I'm just fucked either way. Right? The things I try to do, they just don't happen. And when they don't happen, you know, you really got to ask a few questions like, well, maybe I shouldn't bother trying to do anything at all. You need a direction. Otherwise, you're just constantly pissing into the wind. You're not even challenge pissing, you're just pissing. Pissing for no gain, other than just to piss. Pissing needs to be a spiritual experience. If you gain nothing out of it, there's no point pissing. Why bother pissing? Pissing has to have a meaning to it. There is no meaning to it. Nearly a year and a half of playing this game, I have yet to figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do to advance from the beginning stages. And no one's really been able to tell me that. I've got bits and pieces here and there, and that's really just about it. Every now and then, Monkey tells me some insight, something that probably should have been the very most basic fucking knowledge right in front of your face when he first started. Like a lot of the things Dale Deer told me were just like, holy shit, I wish I had known about this. Things I randomly discovered on the internet. Like the collision being in front of you for parrying. Why doesn't the game show you that straight up front when you first started? That's pretty important knowledge. It's pretty critical to how the game fucking functions. There's just this giant black box to unpack. And when you're working at such a disadvantage as I am, there's a whole bunch of extra black box that contains the knowledge of like, is it even worth trying to do XYZ? No, probably not. Is there actually a way to navigate the game when you're at such a high ping? Probably not. But if there is, no one has been able to tell me yet. Hypernova has tried to claim that there is a way, but his examples were very, very bad. He wasn't able to articulate really too much of anything, and a lot of the information he gave was very contradictory to the experiences shown just within the scope of these videos. Because he doesn't play at that normally. He just has some experience playing against players that are very obviously so much lower level than him, it really doesn't matter what his disadvantages are. It's just like when I run into the occasional PlayStation player, it's like, yeah, there's things I can do they can't. Just because they're using a fucking controller. There's really no difference between the two examples in that case. No, it's not like I disregarded anything he said. I've been trying to live by that example, and it's gotten me fucking nowhere. I've tried to avoid parrying, I've tried to use dodging instead, and that's gotten me nowhere either. I've tried different heroes because Tessa's weak, and that's gotten me nowhere either. In fact, Tessa remains the highest kill and damage of all my characters by a substantial degree. You know, it's actually insane. Did you notice? In one of the early recordings, I actually managed to kill Dio. Dio is a player that's been able to beat Hypernova. I've seen it on Hypernova's stream. This dude is really good. And I was able to beat him in a straight 1v1, even though he was playing Lee. That's just really quite silly. It's possible to win, but that's something I can't replicate. I beat Dio a single time. I beat Immortal twice, within actual games. And it's like, okay, sure thing. But what about the other 200, 300 matches I've had against these two players? Why can't I replicate those results elsewhere? It's not that I beat them, it's that they lost to me. The difference is extremely important. Like I said in the previous discussions, consistency is the measurement by which you succeed. Consistency in this case would be if I was able to beat Dio once a day, if I was able to beat Dio once a week, if I was able to consistently get Immortal to half health or lower, if I was able to do something useful against, I don't know, almost every single one of these players in most of these matches. Like I said earlier, the only players I do consistently well against are Cat-chan and some of the console players. And that's really about it. They are the only ones low enough skill level for me to consistently do well against them. And that's mostly because they're very new. Much newer than I am. Every other kill I get is completely incidental. I don't even really know what to think about the kill against Dio. It doesn't even feel like it was even a real fight. He just kind of threw the blue and killed himself. He's not quite at that level of consistency, I suppose. A high-level player like Hypernova can capitalize on those weaknesses and those inconsistencies, but evidently even making note of it does mean no good at all. I would probably never see another kill on him for months from this point. Before we even really get further, we have to talk about the incredibly asinine fucking technical shit in this game. The way that 2-1-1, the way that the inputs work, the way how a lot of the combos work. Before we even talk about things like the FPS or the ping, we can look at it at a baseline as the inputs for this game are fucking stupid. Have you actually looked at the inputs necessary for things like 2-1-1? A lot of the combos that these people are performing require the most asinine hot swapping between unarmed, crouch canceling, and so on. And you need to have your hands all over the fucking keyboard. It's one of the reasons why many people opt to change their inputs and their hotkeys into really strange setups, because this game requires extremely strange behavior in order to do many of the combos you're seeing people doing. And that shouldn't even be a thing. Before you even get into the argument whether combos are good, which they're not, the whole process of the inputs necessary for them is just fucking asinine. That's the only way to describe it. A lot of it the developer has been trying to patch out, including 2-1-1, but they don't know how to, because they're incompetent, so they just accept them into the game. Like infinite air travel, that apparently is ban-worthy from tournaments, but they haven't patched it out. When you encounter a lot of this extremely unnecessarily frustrating things to input, many of which are so inconsistent that even players like Hypernova don't opt into doing them very often, you don't feel any more encouragement to get involved with that. A lot of the reasons why people die to me, especially the higher end players, is because they try to do these inputs and they end up fucking them up. Because even the slightest FPS fluctuations can cause you to lose a combo, even if your inputs were correct. And a lot of the inputs, and a lot of the things like mid-air grappling, are extremely difficult to do, even for the most experienced of players. Why not make the game about PvP instead of QuickTime events? I ask myself that every single time I play this game and watch TODs. There's nothing exciting about combos. It's just a QuickTime event. Wowee! I can watch them in any given fighting game on the market, and they'll never be any more interesting than they were 30 years ago. The only people wowed by this stuff are Zoomers and Gen Alpha. No one who actually plays games gives a shit about combos. But let's be frank, combos aren't what's killing me most of the time. It's losing the neutrals that takes me into the combo constantly. Sure, I would see more kills if I could perform combos myself, like the carousel I've repeatedly tried to do that I just can't get the second uppercut because the bot snaps to the ground. But if I was more consistent and able to perform in neutrals, then I would just be able to make the pole sword work and not give a shit about combos at all, right? So it's just that part of the game that the majority of players gets to have, inconsistent as it may sometimes be, that I don't get to have. It's just yet another tool I'll never be able to make use of. I've been playing with the extraordinary disadvantage of being Canadian all my gaming career, so it's not something I'm terribly unaccustomed to. But it gets to be a little much when you can't see yourself improving at all. Going through these video productions is a real eye-opening experience, because you get caught in the cycle of what would be construed as rage queuing. You get frustrated, but especially with Immortal War, it's easy to go from match to match and just not really worry too much about it. But you are doing this not for the sake of re-queuing, you're doing this for the sake of trying to improve. But I'm not improving. So why? Why bother? Right? Yes, sunk time fallacy is a thing. You know, you invested so much time into this. In some cases, you invest an amount of currency into this. You would like for that investment to be justified. You would like to come out of this feeling like you got your time and your money's worth. But if I continue to play, that's not going to happen. That's not going to improve. They need to actually work on the fucking game for me to be able to work on the game at this point. I only have so many ways I can approach something on my own, and those ways don't work the way they do for everybody else. The game has to perform well for me to be able to interact with it in a manner that requires performance. And since it doesn't, it's just an equation that can't be completed. This here is one of the games that made me decide to quit. It's a game in which I will perform relatively well in. I will win many fights in this game. This is as close to winning I will get since I first started the season, and that I would get ever after the fact. I would win 1v2s. I would make calculated gambles, and almost every single player I've run into in this match is somewhere around my skill level. But how the game ends put a truly sour taste in my mouth, as well as how it proceeded. Because the closest game I would ever have to a true balanced lobby since I first started playing would be besmirched by the shitty development practices of 24 Entertainment. It just goes to show that even in the most ideal circumstances I can possibly be handed, the game will still be extremely frustrating. Alright. It's probably gonna be my last. I'm tired of being farmed. Lord Grim 4X. What happened to the first two? 3. I can't count, I'm Canadian. He's just running around down there. Okay, I guess. Is he still just running? Oh, there he is. He's fighting. Where you at? Okay. That was interesting.
れちゃった。私の元にやってきた魂が誰のものか当ててごらん。
This is a bot? It has to. Okay. That has to be a bot. Apparently that cancels his all. I did not know that. The more you know. There's some weird technicalities. I had no idea that canceled you being in his ball. That is interesting. I'm pretty sure he didn't know that either. What a weird interaction. Alright, I wanted to swap this great sword to a pole sword, but I'll pick up this gold armor first, I guess. Is there a Yang? There's gonna be a Yang. I have Starfall. I always forget when I have Starfall. That stick of Yang's end. I like his little jig. I parried. Aw, come on. I fucking parried like twice in that. I hate this ping. I can never play the game like anyone else does. I always have to get fucked by ping. Big TT Goth Bunny. What the hell did he mean by this? What the hell? A little worried, because I was definitely out of position for that, but it worked out. XD. This guy has like all the other dual blade shit I'm missing, but I don't know if I need it or not. He also had 2 bows. Oh, I want that though. I parried. Oh, come on. That was a very far parry. I think that was the Wu Chan, wasn't it? That guy's definitely way better than I am. I parried.
一歩でも前に出てみろ。
みんな私たちを狙ってるみたい。このままじゃ楽しめないわね。一時撤退しましょう。新しいのに変えましょうか。あの者たちに楽しいものを見せてあげましょう。私の足元にひれ伏しなさい。よくも。
Okay.
つまらないわ。陰族が作る弾薬も悪くないわね。みんな私たちを狙ってるみたい。このままじゃ楽しめないわね。一時撤退しましょう。新しいのに変えましょうか。
This game is a little stupid. There's another player we've never run into. At least I don't think we've ever run into. It's fucking Wu-Chan, Lee, whoever the fuck with the knives. And then some other person I don't know about. There's a rat somewhere. Someone who didn't fight, I don't think. I don't think there was 3 other people. The fuck? It's another Tessa! That's not what I expected. What? Grab everything, because I'm gonna fucking need it. I've got not really a lot in consumables. Alright, I was hoping he would jump in.
What? Did he have yang depletion?
なかなか気分が良くなってきたわ。
I'm a little confused by that. He must have had yang depletion. God, this is messy. Oh, no. Oh, my parry! I got parry robbed at the very end. Nice. I love this game.
Almost every single fight in what I could objectively say was my best game of the season, I was parry robbed. Every single time, I relied on the basic functionality of this game to work, and in many cases, I would hear the confirmation that it had worked. It did not work, leading to frustration in what was otherwise the most well-balanced the game could possibly be for somebody of my low skill level. How could you ever convince yourself to keep going on when you're faced with this kind of insanity? I don't know, but for weeks after the fact, I did so.
This one, a bot, input read everything, made every catch, I-framed every ult, flying knives LOL. This is the one I got parry robbed in. And then this is pretty par of the course. 2 kills on this one. I don't remember what those were. Pretty normal stuff. Some more quick matches. This was another bot death. And then that's pretty much what everything else looks like. That's the Immortal War. Point 22 seems actually kind of high. I have gotten a couple kills. That's higher than I would have expected. And ranked is actually very high. Very, very high. This would have been a lot higher if I didn't get parry robbed. But I did. Not much I can do about it. Part and parcel of being in a shithole country. This did not work out at all. Apparently I have a higher KD on this. Don't ask me why, I don't know.
The 2 weeks I played into February saw the release of Zenda and my final limits of patience with Naraka. Who the fuck plays Tessa in this fucking economy?
敵はまだ遠くね。迎えに上がりましょうか。一緒に楽しみましょう。みんな私たちを
I can't believe you did this.
このままじゃ楽しめないわね。一時撤退しましょう。私たちの縁もこれで切れたわね。
What?
私の足元にひれ伏しなさい。私たちの縁もこれで切れたわね。
What is happening in this game? I killed someone twice.
私の元に寄ってきた
I
魂
didn't get
が
the kill on
誰
them
の
the
もの
first
か
time, but
当ててごらん。
technically, it was mine. That was crazy. This is my most successful Immortal War I've ever played. And I even did it with Kata. I don't know what to do with this information. The shops aren't even over here. Oh, it's shale.
私の足元にひれ伏しなさい。
Great. Well, this game's over. was fun while it lasted, I guess. Nothing more I can do. I don't have any money now. I don't think I can do puzzle. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. Revive over here, I guess.
落ち着いて落ち着くの機会はまだあるはずよ私の足元にひれ伏しなさいかっちょん武器を落としちゃうなんて
There we go. Problem solves itself. We're so back.
気分が良くなってきたわ
How do I get out of here, though? Maybe I don't. You know, maybe I don't need to.
面白いものでも買い
I have to remember you can buy stuff in this game mode. Shops aren't worthless. They're just mostly worthless.
よし行きたく
How
ない
the
なら
fuck did I have
行かなくて
two
いいわ
markers?
私に喧嘩を売るとはいい度胸ね
ここにある一歩でも前
私
に
の足元に
Okay, bye, I
ひれ
guess.
伏しなさい私の元に私の足元にひれ伏しなさい
Fun hero. Guess I'll just do nothing.
落ち着いて落ち着くの機会はまだあるはずよ
Can you not?
みんなは私の足元にひれ伏しなさい私の足元にひれ伏しなさい
Cool. Well, the first half of the game was okay. The rest of it was just stupid. But that's better than average, I guess. What?!
私の足元にひれ伏しなさい私の足元にひれ伏しなさいはい注目まばたき禁止や私たちの縁もこれで切れたわね
What?! You can block that?
ありえない私の足元にひれ伏しなさい準備好了吗そんなあなたたちの魂のなんて脆いことか私の足元にひれ伏しなさい
暗闇は満ちた
さっさと倒れなさい
天地陰陽をひっくり
あの者たちに楽しいものを見せてあげましょういくらなんでもそんなに使えないわ私の足元にひれ伏しなさい
全てが破壊されるのをとくと
我が
見よ
百連の技を見せてやろう
ありえない 新しいのに変えましょうか。せい。私の足元にひれ伏しなさい。もらった。課長、武器を落としちゃうなんて。なんなら捨てたら？なんなら捨てたら？
Okay.
私の足元にひれ伏しなさい。
ここにある。一歩でも前に出てみろ。
Well, I tried. I got close to killing him. That's the closest I've ever gotten to killing that player.
終わりなき大厄災が来るだろう。
俺に復讐したければいつでも来い。
私の足元にひれ伏しなさい。終わりなの？
Okay. I can confidently say that, with the exception of most of the console players, for example, and people who are obviously complete brand new accounts, I am the worst player that has consistently played Ranked or Immortal War, likely within the history of this game. It's quite a far reach from where I was in my youth with Soul Calibur, and I'd like to think at least I did better at Blaze Blue and Mortal Kombat than I did in this game, despite spending very few hours with either of them, but nonetheless, my time with Naraka has ensured me that I just have absolutely no future in fighting games at all. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go from this point with gaming, honestly. Maybe this will be the last time I ever consider actively doing multiplayer gaming of any kind. HKS is trying to pressure me into making my game co-op, but I'm not even really sold on that. All I can really say is that Naraka has definitely soured my experience, not just to the development ethics and stuff like that, but to my own performance. I know for sure that I'm too old to be playing games at this point. I've definitely degraded rather significantly mentally and physically, but it's also... I haven't really been able to put in the time and energy necessary to keep the skills that I had in my youth intact. It's over for me as a player, overall. There's not really much point in pursuing any kind of competitive gameplay, which is going to make designing competitive gameplay difficult, but let's be fair, it's probably over for me as a developer as well. I have a lot more video to process, so this won't be the absolute last of my Naraka productions, and maybe when Spiritwell comes around I will put time into that. But I don't see a point forward from here on. There's nowhere left for me to go. I have nothing left to train. I have nothing left to learn. This is it. This is the end of my time with this game in large. I will put the Zenda recordings into a separate video, but you already seen what that video contains. It's not any different than what has been shown here.